Hello my fiery friends, welcome to another fiery fun stream. I'm your host the Infernoman here, and hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you are at. So, we're continuing of course our deep dive into Edge of Eternities with another awesome card that I'm super excited about. I know you guys voted on this, I think this was third place, but you know what, I really came together with an idea with the deck that I thought, you know what, I really want to push this out today. So, what exactly am I running my mouth about? Well, I'm glad you asked. So without further ado, let's just jump into it right now and explain to you what exactly we're going over today. All right, we're going to pop it in right there. There we are. Awesome. So the deck today is going to be focusing on Tannuk Memorial Ensign here. I really like what this card is doing, even though I'm usually not a Landfall kind of player. But I thought this one, of course, is in my wheelhouse because, you know me, if you've been on this channel long enough, I love burn decks. Anything that could just helps me ping away our opponent's life to get to victory, I'm totally down for. So without further ado, join me today in the Brawl format for a deck I put together that is called Landfall Burn. So, how we're going to do this is, of course, as always, we're going to go over the whole deck. I'll go over every single card. We'll go over the stats of the deck. We'll have as many matches as possible in the best of one, since we are playing Brawl. And then once we get about halfway through the stream itself, we'll then play a little bit of a deck in this variant. If we upgrade it, and see how much more stronger it can get if we really want to invest into it. Now, before we do any of that stuff, as always, we appreciate your support today. And as always, continue to provide that extra support by having watched these videos, whether watching live or on the replay. If you do want to support us any further, as always, we do have a Patreon. And we, of course, have a Discord where you can join us and our growing group of fiery friends and chat about Magic or whatever you want to do. But before I ramble on about that and start doing the shilling, let's just jump into it right now and talk about exactly how the deck works. So, as always, going over the stats first. Long-time viewers of the channel know how we do it. We have to talk about the stats of the deck before we dive right in. So this Landfall deck is going to be, again, primarily Gruul colors of red and green. You're looking at an average mana curve, which looks a little high at 3.0. Total creatures, however, is going to be a lot. We're going to be rocking 26 creatures. We have 7 instants, 10 sorceries, 6 artifacts, 14 enchantments, 1 battle, and 40 lands total. And of course, doesn't even cover the modal lands because we're going to be very land heavy today. So, the whole game plan revolves around Tannuk here, Memorial Ensign. He is a Kavu pilot. It's a legendary creature 2/4 that has the landfall ability, but his landfall ability reads, whenever a land we control enters, he will deal 1 damage to each opponent, and if this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, draw a card. Not something too crazy right here, and pretty good actually for an uncommon card. I love what it's trying to do. Just ping out on that first drop. The second drop will also ping out our opponent, but also we can start drawing cards. So we ideally want to try to see if we can hit 2 land drops a turn, just that way we can get the trigger off of Tannuk. Remember that again, this can resolve multiple times. In other words, it can resolve on a actual turn that's not ours. So this hopefully should then just ping out our opponent a ton here and there. However, in order to do that, we'll definitely need a lot of landfall support, and we'll try to start building around how this all works. We want to try to see if we can get more card draw. We're going to also hopefully see if we can just burn out our opponent here and just get a bunch of extra value by dumping stuff into the yard. To do that, however, let's start in the 1-drop slot here with Elvish Mystic and Land of War Elves. Simple little elves here just help us with the ramp package. They don't really affect the landfall, but we want to ramp as quick as possible to get to our big draws. Sammy's Curiosity, also from the new set here, gains us 2 life at sorcery speed, and also we get to create a Lander token. For those that don't know, Lander tokens were introduced in Edge of Eternities. Lander tokens are tokens that you can sacrifice by paying 2, tapping the Lander itself, and then you search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. So good for us to crack these Lander tokens whenever we need to at any given time throughout the course of the game. Wayfarer's Bauble here, also in the 1-drop slot, similar to a Lander token. It's a 1 mana, however you tap it and then sack the artifact to then search for a basic land and then put it onto the battlefield tapped and then shuffle. So got a little early game ramp packages here, but then we're going to get really deep into this in just a moment here. So in the 2-drop slot here, we have a Braid, either destroy an artifact or simply just hit 3 damage to a target creature. Cleansing Wildfire here. So this actually has multiple utilities to it. So we could either utilize this for the we can use this either to destroy a target land our opponent has, forcing them to then dig out a basic, or we can use this with certain indestructible pieces that we have, such as we have here Slagwood Bridge here. We can actually target our own bridge if we do this correctly here, so then it allows us to then not only draw a card, but also gets us another basic out. So that in theory can work. Very situational, but it is an option. Impact Tremors here does look a little off because it doesn't seem like it's going to be a creature heavy deck, but it really is. We do have many ways of creating tokens, so we will hopefully ping out our opponent with plan B to the deck. Reckless Pyro Surfer here has haste and landfall. Whenever a land we control enters, this creature will gain Battle Cry until end of turn. So this will turn on Battle Cry, which means that anytime this creature attacks, every other attacking creature will also get a +1/+0 pump. Sabo Tender here, anytime we land control enters, just ping out our opponent for 1 point of damage. So good for us again to accumulate more. Terrapact Intimidator here, when it enters, we make our opponent forcefully either give us 2 Lander tokens, which is great for us for ramping, and if they don't, we put 2 +1/+1 counters on the creature, so it gives us a big threat at any point. The Flame of Keld here, once we dump our hand of all of our lands and spells, we can then discard our hand on part 1 of the saga. Part 2 of the saga allows us to draw 2 cards, and part 3, if timed correctly here, if a red source we control will deal damage to a permanent or a player this turn, we'll deal that much damage plus 2 more. So in theory, this, if timed well with Tannuk here, can also start doing 3 damage a ping. So that's actually a pretty great way to close out the game fast. Aftermath Analyst here, awesome card here for us. When it enters, mill 3 cards, and then for 4 mana, sacrifice the creature, bring back all of our land cards from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So again, massive way we can then hopefully just swing the damage back into our opponent's face if we time it right with Aftermath Analyst. Newfound Adventure here, aka Farseek, allows us to just dig out a Plains, Island, Swamp, or Mountain card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and then shuffle. So 2 mana ramp here, pretty good for us to get out even some of our stuff that actually has just land types to it. Actually, hold on 1 second. I might have to adjust this a little bit because I realize I actually don't have a tapped duel that I'll probably readjust for that. Actually, we could probably do that right now. So real quick, when I put this together, I thought I put in the duels for this, but I did not. So we're gonna do, of course, a couple of basics here. So maybe 1, 2. So put in the Highland Forest real quick, and then what's the other cheap one here? Where's it at? Hold on, everyone. Hold on. Okay, Woodland Ridgeline. Okay. We'll apply those. Okay, there we go. Okay. So that at least will give us a little bit more value, of course, as the game goes on. Okay, Heritage Reclamation here, 2 mana. Allows us to destroy an artifact, enchantment, or we can exile a target card from a graveyard and simply draw a card, so good utility at any point. Rampant Growth here, another 2 mana landfall trigger for us, so of course this helps us dig out a basic, put it onto the battlefield immediately. Siege Ship Impact here, destroy a target artifact or enchantment. If the mana value was 2 or less, create a Lander token for us. We have Stump Stomp here. It can either be used as spot roll if we need to, or we can just use it as a tap land in pinch. Atarka's Command here, for instant speed, we could choose 2. We could either force our opponent to deny them life gain, or we could deal 3 damage to each opponent. We could put a land card onto the battlefield tapped, which is mostly what we want to do with this deck, or creatures we control get +1/+1 and gain reach until end of turn. Cinder Vines here, it's an enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, they get pinged for 1 point of damage. However, for an additional 1, you can sacrifice the enchantment if we need to, just blow up another artifact or enchantment and deal 2 damage to that permanent's controller. So, nice way of finishing things off if we, again, allow our opponent to just go crazy with their own spells. Goblin Archaeomancer here, great for us because we could then cheapen the cost of our red or green spells, which is perfect. Gruel Charm here does a lot of things, but we only can pick one. Either gain control of all permanents we own, deal 3 damage to each creature with flying, so good for us to then just blow up the skies, or creature without flying cannot block this turn, so good overall. Ruby Daring Tracker here, one of our 2 mana mana dorks here, has haste. This human scout just reads whenever Ruby attacks while you control a creature with power 4 or greater, she will also get a +2/+2 pump until end of turn, or you can use her, of course, to simply just, again, tap for mana. Rydia, Summer of Mist here, we've been using this card a lot, but again, it does so much value for what it does. So the Landfall trigger on it allows us to then just discard a card and draw a card to help us filter out. We can use that summon ability with X and tapping her to then revive a target Saga card with the mana value of X from our graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter. This can be good for, of course, just to again reuse some of our Sagas for extra value. Mindstone here, simple little mana rock here, we could just use it to tap for extra generic mana, or just sacrifice a draw card later on into the game. Geomancer's Gambit here, similar to the Cleansing Wildfire here, but it's 3 mana, so again, destroy land, or make our opponent search out a basic land. However, we can also use it on ourselves if we want to, again, if we want to utilize it with the Slagwood Bridge here. Very situational, but it can work that way, and also just draw a card afterwards. Molten Gatekeeper here, if we do start making a ton of extra drops with our creatures and tokens, then anytime a creature we control enters, deal 1 damage to each opponent. You can also unearth it for 1 mana. Sundering Eruption here, again, more land hate, or you can use it as a land if you need to. Valakut Exploration here, we are utilizing a lot of landfall triggers, so then this will help us again just exile the top card of our library. We could play that card as long as it remains exiled, and then we have to then drop it at the beginning of our next end step. If there are cards exiled with this enchantment, you put them into its owner's graveyard and then deal damage that much to each opponent. So again, can be great for us if we do a huge amount of landfall shenanigans to then give us another way to burn out our opponent. Zeldinch here, 3 mana, 0/3 human monk. We can play additional lands on top of each of our turns. He will get +1/+0 for each land we control, but however, at the beginning of the end step, you have to return a land to its owner's hand. That's actually not a downside for us because we could take advantage of the landfall over and over again using his ability. Mechanized Warfare here. So this is one of our enchantments here that will help us stack more extra damage once Tannuk hits the battlefield. Anytime a red or artifact source we control will deal damage to an opponent, will deal damage to an opponent or permanent an opponent controls, it'll deal that much damage plus an extra point. Entis Restoration here, instant speed, sacrificing a land, and then dig out 2 basics for us. If the power of our creature was 4 or greater, instead we can search our library for up to 3 basic lands and then put them onto the battlefield. That's a lot of value if we can manage to pull off the top end of that. Fierce Empath here is an elf that allows us to dig out a not a basic. It's going to be a creature with a mana value of 6 or greater and then put it into our hand. So this is going to be one of our small fetches here for one of our big creatures, which we'll talk about in just a bit. Galactic Wayfarer here, when it enters, create a lander token for us, so good for us for extra ramping. Larval Scoutlander here, so 2 mana, this is going to be a spacecraft that's in green. When it enters, we can sacrifice a land or lander token and then dig out for 2 basic lands, put them onto the battlefield. Reclamation Sage here, another elf for us that when it enters, destroy an artifact or enchantment. Roiling Regrowth here at instant speed, same thing, just like the Entis Restoration. Sacrifice a land, dig out 2 basic lands and put them onto the battlefield. Scoot Swarm is now where all of those landfall triggers really also come in handy and give us a plan B to the deck. With Scoot Swarm out here, anytime a land we control enters, create a 1/1 green insect creature token. However, if we control 6 or more lands, create a token that's a copy of Scoot Swarm. So you kind of get the idea here. We can just, again, go super wide with Scoot Swarm if we need to. This is where, again, that Impact Tremors and also Molten Gatekeeper actually now finally come in handy. Spelunking here is going to be utilized to then make sure all of our dual lands and also anything else that comes in tapped will not be tapped. And then, of course, we can then have get an extra land drop off of this when it enters and simply draws a card. Summon Fenrir here, a Saga Wolf, allows us to dig out a basic land. We can also then get an extra bit of pump whenever another creature we cast controls enters. And then we can draw a card if we control a creature with the greatest power or tied for the greatest power. So a little extra value there. Weather Seed Treaty here, you can read ahead with it, but if you get the most value out of the saga for part 1, dig out a basic land, put it onto the battlefield. Part 2 allows us to then get a green sapling creature token, and then the domain ability gives our creature a pump of extra +X/+X, where X is the number of basic lands among types of lands we control. Only that's going to cost, just going to be an extra 2/2 pump. Not a big deal for us, we just want to again use this for ramp packaging. Tireless Provisioner here, one of our best landfall triggers here. Anytime a land we control enters, create a food token or a treasure token to help us again with the ramp. Undergrowth Recon here, 3 mana enchantment. At the beginning of our upkeep, return a target land from our graveyard to the battlefield tap, so it helps us again with more landfall shenanigans. Clothes, God of the Destiny here. Since we are in Gruul colors, this is actually pretty good for us. It is a slow, incremental graveyard hate for us, where we can keep exiling cards. However, we can also then exile lands if we want to, maybe from our opponent's graveyard, to then give us a little extra ramp. Otherwise, we can then gain 2 life and then just ping our opponent for 2 extra damage with anything else we exile with it. If we have a devotion of 7 or more in red and green, Clothes becomes a creature, and it's indestructible. So it's actually really nice because it sticks on the battlefield for almost forever. Corvold and the Noble Thief here, another one of our sagas here that helps us with ramping by creating some treasure tokens for the first 2 parts. Then part 3 exiles the top 3 cards of our library, and then we can play those cards on that turn. So good for stealing some stuff here. Usually I'm not the kind of person that likes to steal magic cards, but this is actually good for us for our deck. Spitfire Lock here, similar to the Sabo Tender and of course Tannuk himself. Anytime a land we control enters, ping at our opponent for 1 point of damage. Torbrand here also ramps up our power with our landfall triggers here. Anytime a red source we control will deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, it'll deal that much damage plus an extra 2. So that can stack up damage very quickly for us. Invasion of Zendikar here, our only battle in the deck. However, when it enters, dig out 2 basic lands, put them onto the battlefield. If we manage to flip this, it becomes basically a mana dork that has vigilance and haste, an elemental that's also a 4/4. Map the Frontier here, digging out for us 2 basic lands or desert cards and put them onto the battlefield tapped, so again, more ramping for us. Siege Ship Argarian here, 4 mana, 3/3 Insect Scientist. Actually, that's kind of a cool typing. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, we can create a lander token, and it has landfall of its own. Whenever a land we control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on the creature itself. Timeless Witness here, we can then utilize this to again just reuse one of our cards from the graveyard here. When it enters, bring that card from the graveyard back to our hand, eternalize it for 7 so we can reuse it again at a later point in the game. Hedron Archive here, we have a ton of extra ramp, so this will help us of course just put out a bigger mana rock. You could tap it for 2 generic or sacrifice it for this to draw some cards. Use Social Engineering here, landfall trigger that allows us of course to create some robot artifact creature tokens. It has warp for 2, so we can actually bring this out earlier and then recast it at a later turn using the warp ability. Pull through the Weft here, 5 mana sorcery that allows us to bring out 2 non-target non-land permanent cards from our graveyard to the hand, and then return up to 2 target land cards from our graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So bigger ramp package for us, but also helps us recurse some of our other spells. Summoner Titan here, another great finisher for the deck here. Part 1, mill 5 cards. Part 2, for this saga, return all land cards from our graveyard to the battlefield tapped. And until end of turn, Part 3, another target creature we control will gain trample and gets +X/+X, where X is the number of lands we control. So this can be a great way to smash through. Zendikar's Royal, similar to the Use Social Engineering. Anytime a land enters, we get to create an elemental creature token that's going to be good for us. Escape to the Wilds here at sorcery speed allows us to exile the top 5 cards of our library. We may play exile cards this way until the end of our next turn, and also we may play an additional land this turn. We have Rampaging Balos in the 6-drop slot here. Anytime a land we control enters, create a 4/4 green beast creature token. Man, I kind of wish we can get a little bit more value with the beasts and the Kavus in this deck, but it still works for what it is. Glacier Godmaw here, 7 mana, so very expensive, but we have tons of ramp for this. So it's a Leviathan 6/6 with trample that reads, when this creature enters, create a lander token, so helps us with ramp. Its landfall ability allows us to get +1/+1 to the entire team, giving all of our creatures vigilance and haste until end of turn. And finally, the last card in the deck here is going to be Omnath, Locust of Rage. So 7 mana if we can get this out. Anytime a land we control enters, create a 5/5 red and green elemental creature token. Whenever Omnath or another elemental we control dies, we get to do 3 damage to any target. So good for us also, but synergizes actually well with Zendikar's Royal, since those are elemental tokens that we actually have. Now, as far as the land base is concerned here, we're going to be having pretty heavy. We're going to be rocking mostly basics to get the most value. So it's going to be 11 mountains, 15 forests, and then just a handful of tapped dual lands. So Bristling Backwoods here, Highland Forest, Racer's Ring, Rugged Highlands, Slagwood Bridge, Wooded Ridgeline, and then some utilities for us, such as Arid Archway here, Cabaret Courtyard for fetching, Demolition Field for non-basic land hate, Escape Tunnel for more fetching, Evolving Wilds is also a fetch, River's Overlook for fetching. You kind of get the idea. We want to make sure we hit those landfall triggers. Terramorphic Expanse also does the same thing. And then finally, Urza's Cave, we want to just sack this land to dig out any other land we want directly onto the battlefield tapped. And that is all of our that's our whole package for Landfall Burn, everybody. So whew, as always, exhausted from doing that, but thanks again for hanging in there, everybody. So without further ado, let's take this into the Brawl format. I'm super excited to see how well this deck can do in that format, and let's see if it's going to be a good deck or not. We'll talk about, of course, the upgraded version a little bit later on, but let's go ahead and let's jump into some matches right now, and let's see how well it does. Whew, okay, now that we finally got through all that, everybody, how are we all doing so far today? Hopefully, again, everyone's having a good day, midweek. See, let's get our first game here because I'm ready to go.
It's time to do.
Yeah, all right. Okay. Lands for now, which is fine. We just want to start building up our mana base. So that way Tannuk can start doing its thing. Our opponent is playing Felithar. We didn't play this version, but he is actually pretty powerful. So let's see if we can get around that wooded ridge line. We have lots of ways of blowing stuff up and ramping, so this shouldn't take us too long, hopefully. Put down the Highland Forest. All right, opponents, what you got? Also pretty low to the ground because it's also Abzan colors, but it's 3 mana as well, just like Tannuk here. So we'll see if that actually affects us. Opponent's looking at our lands. Not sure why, but okay. Ooh, perfect. Wow, okay. Perfect fixing there. Alright, but we also have perfect fixing as well. So let's go ahead and see if this can stick. Okay. If our opponent doesn't have removal, we should be good to go here. We can start doing our thing, but we'll see. We shall see. Opponents. Blot outs. Okay, so there goes the removal. That's okay. Opponent swings. Obviously, they're not going to sacrifice anything, so we have time. Rampaging Balos will be nice for later on. We'll put down the Mountain for now. We'll put down Corvault, the Noble Thief. So, making a little bit of extra value when we can. Okay, opponents. Okay, Scoured Barrens, gain life. And let's see, what else our opponents got here? They still got a full hand. Still not going to be sacrificing anything, I assume, because they don't have any long-land permanents. We go down to 19. Okay, I'm on deck. Show me some love. Make treasure token. I'm sorry. Create a treasure token. I don't know why I can't say words right now. Okay, so with that, I'm going to sack our treasures. Get our black and green out. Okay, Tannuk. Round 2. Can he stick around this time around? Get down the mountain. Ping him for 1. And we pass here. Okay, if we could just stick, we should be good to go. Opponent is looking, of course, at our saga. The next part now. So they did get the Assassin's Trophy off. Well, oddly enough, that actually does help us out a bit, because that actually does hit our landfall trigger. So, okay. Tannuk got at least 1 extra bit of value there. Okay, another tapped duel. They go up to 25. Okay, so we actually have enough now for Rampaging Balos to go off too. So that's actually good. Maybe get some value by just doing a beatdown plan. Okay, still have plenty of stuff we can work with here. No blocks. I anticipate they probably have something to stop us, so we'll just take the damage for now. It's only down to 16. Okay, Sandskitter Outrider here. So when a creature enters, it endures 2. Okay, so lots of value there. That's okay. We still got this. Alright, so how do we do this here? I think Balos should come down first. Now we got a big threat here. Ping our opponent. Make a beast. That's good. No attacks. So hopefully now we'll just start ramping out everything and start getting a ton of landfall triggers. Tannuk should hopefully go off right now. We can get some. We can get a little. Opponent's got 4 cards in hand. What does he have, opponent? 3 cards. Okay, at the beginning of combat manager, put a +1/+1 counter on another creature. Okay, I see. Okay. Still no attacks yet, so let's do the Weather Sea Treaty. Part 1. Get our basic out. Okay, get a forest. Okay, here we go. The beasts are coming. Mountain again. Get that ping. Draw a card. Okay, River's Overlook is not too shabby either. Elvish Mystic. Let's see. We could start swinging pretty quick here, but I want us to get a little bit more value, so we'll wait it out for a bit. Okay. Townland. Alright, when the siege enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature we control. Interesting. Okay. So that goes pump. Okay, a little scary, but it's actually not horrible for us because our beasts can definitely hold the line for now as long as the Bayloth sticks. But we'll start putting counters on stuff. Okay. Do they swing, though? Opponents? Okay, so they do swing. They want to flip that invasion. Fortunately, though, we do have plenty of blockers here, so swing there. Opponents? Oh, they do have an answer. Moment of Glory. Okay, so they actually do have a way of weakening and gaining life, but it still actually doesn't stop the Sand Skirter completely. So, creature down. Nice! Okay. Not sure what our opponent was doing there, but we still made it work. Green Saproling token. Alright. Riveter's Overlook. Get some more Bayloths. Landfall is just such a good ability. Although, sometimes I would argue it might be a little too much. But hey, literally just playing the game just rewards you with all these beasts. Alright. Ooh, okay. We got the Escape to the Wilds now, so there we go. Now we're starting to go off here. Okay, Exile 5. We'll play Tireless Provisioner. And we'll play Racer's Ring. There we go. Here we go. Building up our army. We're going off, everybody. That's what we wanted. Okay, so I think now's the time to play Flame of Keld. We'll dump our entire hand here. That's fine. And then no attacks yet. We have a lot of Bayloths now, so unless our opponent has a Wrath, which is our last card here, I think we can then close this out here and now. What's your last card, opponents? Okay. The counter on. Swing? Alright, so draw 2 cards. And then Domain on, I guess, the Bayloth. Draw 2. Oh, we also got our Invasions in the card too. Oh, here we go. Alright, so more creatures coming down, everybody. Forest. Pinging our opponent. Tons of value here. We have ramp for days now. Okay, Invasion Zendikar. Okay, and that's too much for our opponent there. They have had enough. Victory for us. We didn't have to ping them out. They were just like overwhelmed from all of our creatures. But there you go, everybody. There you go. So even without Tannuk completely going off there, we just get a ton of extra value once we hit those landfall triggers. Our big creatures here have no problem coming out. The ramp we got from the treasures, the beasts here, it was just too much for our opponent to handle. Nice. Very nice. All right. Mono Musa, salutations. Hello, my fire friend. Thanks again for joining us this morning. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. Actually, I realize now in the States now it's actually already afternoon. Okay. Well, either way, still glad you're here for us. Thanks again for joining us. All right, but you were just in time right there to see our first victory of the day. We were able to beat down our opponent there utilizing our landfall shenanigans. And we're going to see if we can try to pull it off here again. I'm ready. And hopefully all y'all are ready again.
It's time to do.
All right. Okay, so let's see here. We have plenty of ramp here, and we have the Volakut Exploration to help us dig through our deck. It might be a little slow, though, because we want to try to maximize the value. But we have a lot of fetches here, which is, again, not bad. It's just, we'll just have to kind of slowly get this going. Mono Musa, I love Landfall. Sadly, Hawk and Traveling Chocobo are expensive. Yeah, that's a shame. I love the Traveling Chocobo, and we managed to pull that off last time we did a Landfall shenanigans with him a couple weeks ago. But unfortunately, yeah, it's just an expensive card. I would love to have a copy for myself for one of my decks. I have a Landfall deck myself. It's a desert deck. But I love that deck a lot. Yeah. I wish I could upgrade it a little bit more to get more value. Okay. Let's get Sabo Tender, our plant. And then with Tannuk coming down, we can start doing a lot of pinging coming up here. Our opponent is playing Shelgengar, Sire of Famine. I haven't seen anybody play this card since Elder Dragon. Sacrifice a creature, make a blood token. Okay, so this is blood token shenanigans here. Interesting. I don't know how that's going to affect us, but we'll see if we can try to get around it. Jetic Ventura over on YouTube there. Hello, my fire friend. Thanks again for joining us in the chat. And thanks again for also being here today. Hopefully having a wonderful day wherever you're at. I just got into Magic in real life. Are draft boosters a good source for deck building? Okay. So this is always a question we will get with when you get new players. So usually the general rule I know everybody will always say is please buy singles for the decks you specifically want to do. Now, there's nothing wrong with getting draft boosters. Trust me, like, if you've been on my channel a lot, I love getting boosters, but mostly it's for me because I like to crack them for fun. But 9 times out of 10, I usually don't get the cards I want. However, sometimes you get some good stuff from it. So I guess my simple answer from you is figure out, first off, what deck you want to build. Once you figure out what deck you want to build, from there, start figuring out where are those cards mostly in. You can then look at for various websites for singles that are usually very cheap, and you should be able to then build your deck from there without having to spend too much money. Draft boosters are, again, meant for just drafting, unless you're like me, who wastes his money a lot on what is essentially gambling, even though it's something I don't want to admit. Hold on one second. Ooh. Our opponent blew up our card that was Swords to Plowshares. So, okay. Looks like Tannuk won't get his value just yet, but that's okay. We have many ways of getting around their shenanigans, even though they're going to try to light game drain us. No blocks. Okay, so let's see. We have an Arid Archway, too. How do we want to do this here? I guess the Arid Archway comes in. Hang on our opponent. We will bounce back our mountain back to our hand. No attacks yet. A little slow for a Landfall deck, but we will eventually get our value back quick here. If we can get Torbrand out, we should be okay. Veto, okay. So they'll make another token. Veto comes out, Fanatic of Aklazaz. Still can't block, which is really awkward for us, but yes. But yes, Jedek, I guess I would ask you one more time, what do you want to build? What are you hoping to build? Is there something that excites you? Is there some kind of deck that you're like, wow, that looks really cool, I want to put that together? Is it mostly for kitchen table fun purposes? Or are you looking to actually build for a specific format out there, like Commander, Standard, Pioneer? Let me know, and then maybe we can kind of help figure out something for you. Okay, so in the meantime here, let's see. Well, a little clunky here. Like, no matter what I do, King, we don't have enough for Torbrand still, but we have an escape to the wild, so I guess that kind of helps us a bit. Still put down Tannuk. No attacks yet. Opponent is going wider than us much faster than we can handle, so hopefully we can stick around just at least another couple more turns, but I'm not sure right now. Opponent right now is definitely doing their thing. We can escape to the wilds next turn, so that maybe that might help. Or an Invasion Zendikar card also can be valuable. But I wish we kind of had a way to slow down our opponent here. I did forget to mention the deck's major weakness. So it looks like there's going to be a lot of removal. So the issue we'll see, of course, and I didn't mention this with the deck, was I didn't put in that many ways of spot removal and wrath too much in the deck, because mostly this deck should be able to overvalue our opponent faster than they can handle us. It seems like right now we have a lot of tap lands, so we're looking pretty clunky right now, and we have no way of stopping our opponent here from doing the damage. Just Aragon, also joining us also off our YouTube. Thanks again for joining us today, my fire friend. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. I was just scrolling through YouTube and found you here, so I just built this commander deck for a real-life commander. Nice! Hopefully it's working out for you. Hopefully you're having fun with it. Right now, our opponent is making us look very foolish, though, because I would like for us to actually go off here, but we're not quite where we want to be. And I think we might end up losing this because we have maybe too many tap lands. I don't know. We'll see right here. Escape Tunnels. Paying our opponent for 1. Exile a card. Okay, it's a forest. We didn't need that, but okay. Sacrifice the land again. Come on, deck. Show me some love. Put the mountain down. Exile another card. Another forest. All right. Not quite what I want to exile. Paying our opponent for 2. They're down to 21, but I don't think we're going to catch up in time here. So, we'll talk about the issues with this deck in a bit. Also, Jedek, thank you so much. I want to build a deck based around Elena, the Dusk Rose. She reminded me of Alucard from Hellsing Ultimate. Okay. So you want to build mostly a vampire-style deck. Hold on one second, everybody. Wait, are we back? Did we manage to come back? Oh, okay, there we go. We're back. Okay, for some reason, Yeah, sorry everybody. Got disconnected for a hot second there, but looks like we're okay again. Is everybody else there? Let me know if you're still there, everybody. Okay, good. Phew. Okay, hopefully this stream will stabilize and we won't have any more issues here. Okay, in the meantime, let's go ahead, let's jump into the next one. We lost that one, which was unfortunate, but that's okay. Okay, trying to get rid of the spam. No spam today. Okay, breathing it out. Okay, don't freak out. We're okay. We're back, everybody. We just had a bit of a little disconnect there, but we should be okay now. All right, in the meantime, let's see. Okay, so we got plenty of lands. We have Zell, so we can get more Landfall shenanigans. We can make a lander token here. Okay, this should be good. We are back. Okay, good. Yay, internet connections. We love technology, everybody. Okay, in the meantime, let's get our next match going here. So, we're going to be playing against Baron, Bertram, Greywater here. Vampire Noble. I didn't realize it was actually a vampire. Okay. That's kind of cool. So it looks like the token shenanigan stuff. We'll see if we can get around that. Let's see. First off here, Mountain and Pass. So we have a couple ways we can pull this off here. We have Scoot Swarms. We have Zell here in the 3-drop slot. Tannuk, of course, is what we want ideally with maybe Zell or Scoot Swarm. Hopefully we can pull this off here. Bash of Remembrance. Okay, so they are going to try to do some life gain and drain. We need to outpace them with Tannuk, though. Yes. Missed if you answered me earlier, by the way. Oh, yes. Yeah, so yeah. Appreciate you being here. So how did you feel overall, Aragon, with your variation? Did you like it? Are you still in the process of kind of building it, or are you already kind of like set with what you have? Okay, Sabu Tender, that's good for us. Let's see. I guess we'll put him down now. Forest, ping our opponent back to 1. They're at 26. So we have plenty of lands. That's good. We just need to start getting Tannuk down and getting that value from our whole deck here. Zell, Scoot Swarm, gotta get everything going. Corpse Knight, okay. They are going to try to start gaining and draining very quickly here. Aftermath Analyst is good too. Let's see, how do we want to do this? I think we'll get down Tannuk first. Ping our opponent for 2. Go back down to 25. Obviously no swings. Let's see. Oh yeah, Keen Sense plus Exploration combo is crazy good value. Yes, it is. It is very good value. Okay, opponents, what do you got? Edgar. Okay, so they are going... They're definitely going to start draining us here, and they're going to start getting their vampires to pump up. But that's okay. We can still get there. We can still get there. Alright, so in the meantime, I think Zell should come in first. Okay. Ping. 25. 24. Ping again. There we go. Starting to go off here. Draw another card. That's good. Okay, Farseek will be good for later on. For now, let's get Scoot Swarm in while we can. We will have to bounce back a land with Zell, which is annoying, but at the same time, it's not bad for us. That gives us another landfall trigger either way. Okay. Okay, here comes Baron. They start doing their pings. Okay. No swings yet, opponents. That's fine. Ooh, we also got Rampant Growth, too. That's good. So, Newfound Adventure, aka Farseek. Let's get out one of our duels. That's going to come into tapped anyway. So there we go. All right. Here come the Scoot Swarms. All right, I love this part. There we go. So we're going what here? Draw a card. Okay. Forest. The Scoot Swarms are coming. All right. Rampant Growth. Keep the good times going, everybody. Ping, ping, ping. Okay, and then I guess we'll wait for a moment here. And I guess we'll pass. We'll bounce back a land, of course. Get back our forest. Pass. Okay, so the next part of this plan is we gotta close out this game quick. If our opponent has any kinds of ways to wrath the board or stabilize with life gain, we will still be in trouble because we want to try to ping out our opponent here quick. Fortunately, we have an Atarka's command, so that does help us out a bit too. Hedron Archive. Okay, well, that's not too shabby. Let's see. How do we want to take advantage of this, though? So we don't have any lands to speak of in the deck there, but that's okay. forest. Scoot swarms keep coming. Ping, ping, ping. Woo! That's a lot of bugs. And then Sea Chip, Garian. Okay, and a Tarka's Command. Maybe next turn Tarka's Command can do its thing. We're going to wait for one more turn. Bounce back a land. So there you go. So the awkward downside of Zell helps us out a ton here, but we can just keep getting more and more landfall triggers off of that. Doom Foretold. Okay. Well, a little scary. But that's actually not horrible for us. Okay. I'm going to try to do some life gain and drain shenanigans here, but that means they don't have a Wrath. Xander's Wake. Okay. Is that something I should be worried about with the Alchemy card? I guess we'll see in a bit. Just Aragon. Oh, I'm happy with it. Just some minor stuff that needs to be fixed. Also, saving money for tutors. Oh, yeah. Tutors are definitely going to help you out, but, man, tutors get so expensive after a while. It's really hard to keep it around the value creatures in the 4 slot since someone always goes for them. So trying might balance out protection as well. Yeah, one of the fun parts, but also can be one of the most trickiest parts of deck building is always just finding that balance of protecting what you need to, making sure your plan can still go off, but also not bogging yourself down too much with various things. But I'm sure you'll find the balance, no matter what you do. Okay, opponents. I think we might be ready here for a big swing. Doom Foretold. Hold on. Let's sacrifice for 2. I want to draw some cards here. Entish Restoration. Okay, that's good too. Okay. Ooh, we also got the Mechanized Warfare too. Let's see. What do we sacrifice here? Well, I mean, at this point, the Scoot Swarm itself doesn't really do anything because we have plenty of tokens anyway, so that helps us out. Oh, we have so much value here. Okay, I think we got it. Okay, we have Entish Restoration. We also have a Forest too. Look at all those tokens. Ping at our opponent there. Down to 13. Okay. Do we do it now? I mean, we have 33. Oh, well, never mind. I guess our opponent made it easy for us. They were like, I don't want any more of this. Landfall, everybody. Burning them out, making a ton of Scoot Swarms, and then we were about to swing there, but our opponent was like, they didn't want any part of that. Nice. Very nice. Another victory there. All right. We're 2 for 2 today. Okay. I do like what this deck is trying to do. Not too shabby, actually, for a budget deck. I think the budget version of this deck is only, I think, $45. So yeah, you can put this, and again, I forgot to mention this. For $45, this is actually pretty solid overall for what you're doing with a pretty good cost to power ratio. And if you are interested, near the end of stream, of course, I will put this on in the details when we're done. So you get a nice little link to this deck tech if you're interested to see how well you can pull off this. And if you're interested, I'll also put, of course, the link for the upgraded version once we start playing with that. So if you can kind of see the nice little balance between a super cheap version or a super expensive version. Either way, you'll get a chance to enjoy that later on. Just Aragon, woo, big W there. Yeah, we got one there. Is Saffron on Arena? Oh, that's right. I totally forgot about that card. It is on Arena. You can use it if you'd like to. So, I think we might have to look at that for the upgraded version. We do have a lot of powerful hits for that more stronger version of the deck, but we'll get around to that soon enough. In the meantime, okay, so we can ramp out with this very quickly here. We have Ruby, Entish Restoration, Map the Frontier, and Rampaging Balos, which also pump up Ruby too. Hopefully we'll get there. Oh, they're playing Dawnsire. Okay, so it's a colorless deck. Okay, well, this will be interesting. Let's see if our opponent can try to blast us away with Dawnsire. They have Gemstone Caverns in the opening hand. I forgot that's also now in Arena. We're getting a lot of good stuff coming to Arena now, thanks to all these various bonus sheets. Steel Overseer. All right. We can deal with that. Ruby Daring Tracker. No attacks yet. So little by little here, we can start pulling off our shenanigans here. Okay, ooh. I'm just going to start trying to start their engines there. Let's see. We'll play Tannuk. Okay, so with that, that means their removal package should be somewhat limited, which can help us out quite a bit. Ping our opponent for 1. So that means we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Entish will help us out to Map the Frontier. That's good. Okay, opponents. Okay, they're starting probably their artifact, so they're going to start doing artifact shenanigans here. I'm guessing once they pump up enough artifacts, Dawnspire should be able to then activate online. But we do have, thankfully, in the deck, a lot of artifact hate, so that should be good for us if we can get to it quick enough. All right, in the meantime, map the frontier. Start getting our pings, start drawing some cards here. That's what we came here to do, everybody. All right, we'll get arrow. Oh, that's also a desert, too. That's actually good for us, so let's get our 2 deserts here. Now we're getting our ramp going. Ping at our opponents. Nice. Ping. We'll bounce away. Bounce back to forest. Our opponent. And draw another card. And then play the forest again. Ping out our opponents. Okay. Nice. We have lots of ramp here. This is great. Down to 20. Put down the Land of Warhouse, which was a perfect hit. The beasts are coming. Ping our opponent still. Down to 19. And then we can also do this as well here. So, let's see. We'll do this now. We want to get that value. I want to start making a ton of beasts here. We can just overwhelm our opponent. Let's sacrifice 1 forest. Okay, we'll get up another forest and a mountain. All right. Submit the 2. The beasts are coming. Lots of beasts. Okay, opponents. Okay, there we go. Okay, draw another card. All right, no attacks, but we will have a ton of tokens we can work with very, very quickly. All right. All right. Opponent is slowly just trying to take their time building up their overseers. We don't want them to get too much value, so hopefully we can start just pushing through damage now. Okay, Cindervine. Ooh, Cindervines is good too. That'll be very nice for us to then start punishing our opponent. Okay. In the meantime, also, I feel like maybe we demolition field away something here. Let's see. Hold on. What do we want to hit here? We have the option now to do this. Okay. I think we'll blow away that raceway. I don't want them to pump up completely here because we want to make sure that they can't get hasty shenanigans going on. This does give us another landfall trigger either way. We'll take action here. Let's get out. Get a mountain. There we go. Making more beasts, everybody. The beasts are coming. Down to 16. Let's see. And then, forest. The value train. Thing again. Draw another card. All right, more lands. We'll put down Sea Chip Agarian. And then, oh, I guess we can also play this as well. So, Larval Scoutlander. Nice. Okay, we will then sacrifice another land. The value just doesn't stop with this deck. There's just so much to it. All right. We'll get 2 more forests out. The beasts. The landfall triggers. Oh, this is so good. Love this deck. 13. And then we will then finish this off by then stationing. We actually don't really need to station. I mean, this is just another way we can just block in the air. Oh, opponent. Opponent's had enough already. All right. Yeah. The landfall cannot be stopped, everybody. 3 for 3 this morning. Or I guess I would say afternoon now. But yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. Deck feels pretty good overall. Oh, just Aragon now jumping over to Twitch side. I'm so satisfying seeing landfall that isn't Simic. Yes, that's also the reason why I was actually happy to see this deck. So we've played our handful of Simic decks in the past. I don't know, they just like, after a while, it just gets so boring. I think if I had to pick, Simic, and for those, again, that are unaware, blue-green, aka Simic, is probably my least favorite color combination. We can definitely do a lot of fun things with Simic, but it right now just feels so linear. Kind of boring, actually. You know, it's just ramp, landfall, make big stuff, do big things. Don't get me wrong, I mean, we're kind of doing that with this deck, but we're doing it in a fun way, which is very unique, at least for Gruul. So we've had landfall cards before, which do ramping, and oh, I guess our opponent didn't want to play. Okay. Okay, non-match there. Not a big deal. We'll just jump back into it. But, yeah, when it comes to landfall stuff in the past, at least Tannuk here, our commander today, feels a little bit more fresher. I like that it's actually only an uncommon, so that's actually nice for us for budget reasons. Great budget commander if you actually want to play something like this. Just here we go. Every players will always run Coma and Tatyova. Yeah, that's kind of one of the awkward parts I'm going to run into once I get back into my series of uber cheap basic decks. For those that don't know, I do have an entire series of basically decks. The series runs the ability to then build a bunch of super cheap budget decks that don't cost you any rares or mythics. So it's actually really, really cheap to play. We're going to start building a whole series around those for the Brawl format, which also can be converted to Commander. But the only issue is, once we build the Simic one, I'm just worried that, I don't know, it's probably going to be very cookie cutter. Because once we get the Simic colors, it just, well, we'll see if we can try to make it a little bit better. Goblin or Chaomancer. But yeah, it's always just Coma or Tatyova. Either draw a bunch of cards, make a bunch of creatures. Sometimes they run both. Otherwise, for now, let's get Tannuk going. They're playing Obeka, so they're going to be trying to pull off some... I'm guessing it's going to be some shenanigans with upkeeps. We'll see if we can burn them out before it's too late. Okay. Ooh, Simulacrum's Ensliver. Ugh. That's a very powerful card there. So we're going to try to get a bunch of tokens going on. I like the card. We played with it many times across various artifact decks, but this time around, it's going to be trouble for us if we cannot stop it. But we'll try. Oh yeah, and Thassa. Thassa's not horrible, but it's at the same time not the best. Okay, let's get a ramp going still. We'll get out 2 forests. Get some landfall triggers. King. Draw another card. Okay. Play the forest. King again. We then hit the Invasion of Zendikar, so we can flip it. All right. Getting our land drops going. King again. And then we'll finish it off with a Land War Elves. I want to keep the Weather Sea Treaty to get another ping next turn, so that's why we didn't play it just yet. There you go. We can explode very quickly here when our opponent... Oh, they're playing Brusco. Come on, opponent. Boo. Everyone boo this player. Okay, again, I made this argument many times, a million times over already. If you all want to play alchemy cards, that's your business, but I don't know. They tilt me the wrong way. Especially because they literally get free mana rocks and all these shenanigans off of this. But that's okay. We're still going to find a way to get around it. No matter what. Rampaging Baloths. We will play the Weather Sea Treaty. Play on 1. We can dig out a basic. Let's get out... I guess we'll get out a forest. Okay. Ping Beast, ping. And then Stump Stomp. Actually, hold on. I think we can just blow it up here. So, Stump Stomp with the Baloth. Bruce goes down. No, opponent. No shenanigans there. No attacks. But that Midnight Clock is still going to go off if we're not careful. We'll see if we can get around it. Becca could come in at any point now. Season of Weaving, okay. Okay. Ugh. Now they have 2 copies. Oh, 3 copies. Okay. Well, I don't think we're going to get through with damage at this point. Well, at least not... Well, we're definitely not going to be swinging anytime soon, but hopefully we can burn them out before it's too late. At least I hope we can. Fortunately, though, we do have Rydia, so we can also slowly recast our sagas? Let's see. Can we get around this? Is there a way around this? It's a lot of power coming to us. We did get a forest. That's good. Sapling. Okay, so Rydia. Play Corvald and the Noble Thief. Make a treasure. We will play the Forest. Make it the... Okay, bring it back. Get out another basic. Get out another basic. We're trying to rebuild our Balos at this point. Being our opponent. Okay. We cannot swing at all. But now we're going to have to start chump blocking until we can at least get maybe another landfall trigger to go off. Okay. Can we survive the turn? It's literally just... 10... Only 10 power, right? Oh, I have another alchemy card. Okay, well... I think we're cooked now. Alright. The exile shenanigans. Pull over Baloth. Wow. Alright. I don't think we're going to be able to survive this, so... Even if we block everything... As you can see right here, we're still dead. I'll still block just for formality. Wow. Opponents came out hard there. Ouch. Well, that's our first loss for the day, everybody. But that's not too bad, actually. It took us about an hour before we actually took one major L, but that's okay. I'm still having fun. This has actually been pretty enjoyable. Let's go ahead. Let's play one more on the budget deck, and then we'll jump to the upgraded version in a moment. So we'll give that one more shot here. And we'll have a little bit more to go with. So, let's go ahead, let's load this up, and let's see how well we can do. Alright, opponents, bring it on.
It's time to do.
Alright, so let's see here. Oh, Reclamation Stage would have been nice for the last game, but that's okay. Moving on, we've got a decent amount of everything here. If we can get one more land going, we should be good to go. We'll be fine, though. We'll be fine. Okay. I do run this in the 99. Ayasha, Soul of the Wild, and Quarian Ranger. Oh, that's right. We don't have Quarian Ranger in Arena, but maybe someday we will. Hopefully we will. I would love to have that card. Really awesome elf card for not just, of course, Brawl / Commander, but also for a couple other decks out there. Maybe we can get it for Timeless. The opponent is naming cats. So they're going all in on the little meow meows. Meow mixing it up. We actually can blow that up with Reclamation Stage. It would be hilarious if we can. Where's this incubator? Okay. Ooh, they're trying to make their cats cheap, huh? Well, I'm sorry, opponent. We can't let that happen. So we'll play the Mountain. We'll play Reclamation Stage. Sorry, opponents. Cat's got to go bye-bye. Phew. Okay. So next turn, Tannuk can come in. We have a Mountain ready to go. Play Chromatic Lantern. Okay. Tannuk. Let's see. We have a Mountain. Ping. Swing. Ping and swing. Down to 22. Escape Tunnel will be great for next turn. We also have now plenty of ramp to start getting everything going here. Sovereign. Okay. Oh, they brought their cat in. So with that, we need to find ways to get around everything here. Invasion is ending. Let's get out our 2 basic forests. Ping, ping. Draw a card. Summon Fenrir will be nice. Ping again. And we will wait. Okay, so our opponent is going to start trying to get the B-Town going with Sovereign here. But we'll see if we can just outlast them just a little bit longer. Ooh, Kira. Okay. Well, it's just all in on cats. Okay, so they do have Audacity. So that means we can't just sit back too long. We're going to have to start blocking quickly here. No blocks yet. Ugh, but that is hurting. Okay, we did get another forest. Let's see. How do we get around this? Valakut exploration. Let's see here. Forest. And again. 18. Drawing the card. Zenkar's Royal might actually be helpful here. Let's see. Summon Fenrir. Let's get another basic. This time we'll get out a Mountain. Another ping and draw card draw. The exile card. Okay. dual land that we can't get for now, but that's okay. Elvish Mystic. No attack still. Down to 15. Okay. I think next turn might actually, we can pull off a Flame of Keld into everything else. Earth Crystal. Ooh. Alright. Opponent's going to definitely try to go off here. Okay, wait. Did we lose? Oh, we lost. Alright. Yeah. Wow. I guess I wasn't expecting the Earth Crystal to blow them up so quickly. I mean, we can still ping here, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Draw another card. Even if we block with everything, we would still lose no matter what. Ouch. Okay, well done, opponents. We took another L there. But that's okay. We've still done pretty decent with this budget deck overall. I'm still happy with it so far. Now, going into the halfway point of the stream, I do want to ask everyone, what if we took the time to actually upgrade this deck to make it even stronger than it currently is? And that's what we're going to try to pull off here. So let's go ahead, let's talk about the upgrades for this deck to show you how well it can really do if we want to put a lot more investment into it. So with this version here, we definitely have a lot more to work with here in terms of what you really want to push for the deck. So with the upgraded version, we'll be then doing a lot more fun shenanigans, a lot more power added in with cards like, so we have Haywire Might here, good for us to then exile target non-creature artifacts or enchantment creatures. I didn't really put this in the main deck originally because the card is actually kind of expensive for an uncommon. We'll upgrade our mana dorks here, so we have Birds of Paradise now, Delighted Halfling, and Gilded Goose, so this makes our fixing a lot easier to work with here. We're going to throw in Smuggling Surprise. Technically, it is not a one-drop, it actually does cost more, but it's flexible for us so we can utilize this at whatever we need to. We'll be adding Basilic Collar here, because you notice that our deck doesn't really have much in life gain, but adding a Basilic Collar to Tannuk here means that we can then definitely get some more life back with every ping we do, so that's why we're adding it in. As far as upgrades to the 2-drop slot here, we'll be adding in, let's see, I'm trying to see where we went with this. We have Heroic Intervention, so we now have a mass protection spell for our whole game plan here, so that way in case if we run into wraths, we can still anticipate them. Lotus Cobra is really, really good for the deck because it helps us, again, get some temporary mana, but with every landfall trigger, this kind of feels like it kind of almost doubles our mana, so that's great for us. In terms of other upgrades here, we'll be adding in, let's see, we added in Swiftfoot Boots here, so this will help us out, giving us a little protection for Tannuk. We kind of ran into some awkward spots where he ended up getting blown up, so that's good for us. Awaken the Woods, we do ramp a ton here, so making a bunch of extra creature land tokens will be hilariously fun for us if we can get this to go off and get a ton of extra triggers to go. In the 3-drop slot upgrades here, we'll be then upgrading utilizing Loot here. So Loot Exuberant Explorer gives us, again, more additional land drops. We can use its secondary ability to then dig out a creature card with a mana value less than or equal to the number of lands we control. So this can help us get a lot of our bigger stuff out much more quicker. We'll then utilize here Nissa, Resurgent Animus here. Similar to Lotus Cobra, anytime a land enters, we then get another extra temporary land to then float and then use it. We'll then also have, for other upgrades here, let's see, what do we do? Oh yeah, Archdruid's Charm Howl will be added in. Triple green, but we can still cast it even though we're still a 2-color deck, because that's not too bad, right? So we'll then be able to dig out a basic creature or land card and put it into our hand. If it's a land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped immediately. Or put +1/+1 counters on a creature we control and deal damage equal to its power to a creature we don't control. Or at instant speed, exile an artifact or enchantment. So good for us at any point in the game. For the upgrades over here on the side here, we'll have Torbrand still kept in here, but we're now going to throw in Ogitar, Axonil, Deepest Might, so great for us. Any red source we control will deal an amount of damage equal to its power that I'm sorry, I cannot say words by now. So Ogitar himself will then pump up our Tannuk here by helping him do extra damage equal to the power that this god has. So that's actually what we want to do. We can pump him up a little bit. We can do massive swings in power. If he ends up dying, he basically becomes a land for us, which is actually good because that also triggers off Landfall itself. Ice Till Explorer here, we have to put this card in. Amazing card, by the way. Insect Scout, that allows us to play additional lands. It also has a landfall ability of its own. Anytime a land we control enters, we mill a card. But we can also play lands from our graveyard. Wait, seriously, how is this card... How is this card existing? This card is absolutely bananas with what it can do. It's literally perfect for our deck. In the 5-drop slot here, we'll add in Nissa here, Shakes the World. Again, great for ramping, doing all of the things we want to do, giving us more mana to work with here, making elemental tokens out of our lands, just overall good. Overlord of the Hauntwoods here, we can use its appending ability to then make some more landfall triggers with its everywhere to make all of our lands just tap for any mana we want, so good for us. Summon Titan here, of course, is an amazing card as well. So we, of course, have to throw that in. Well, actually, I think we're back. Yeah. Sorry once again, everybody. We're gonna see if we can try to. We're in the second half of this right now, but jeez, I don't know why the connection's having issues. But again, looks like we're okay for now, so we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. So, let's go ahead. We're gonna try to see if we can continue this onward. Let's see real quick. Before I go on to the upgraded version, let's go ahead and wrap up real quick for us the actual land base that we're upgrading into. So we're going to add an Arena of Glory now. Castle Embreth. Den of the Bugbear. We're going to cut down on the mountains and forests to make room for Sokazin, Beseiju, Avendo here, one of our planet lands. And then all the good rare lands we can muster up. So Shifting Woodlands here for copying certain things. Cinderglade, Commercial District, Copperline Gorge, Pathway Land, Capsulin Forest, Rockvale Vale, Stomping Grounds, Thornspire Verge, and we'll keep, of course, the Arid Archway. We'll then upgrade into much more stronger fetch land, so we'll have an Arid Mesa, Wooded Foothills, and the Windswept Heath. You can actually add in more fetches if you want to, but I don't want to go too crazy. You can if you want to. That's your call. Urza's Cave will be kept. Scavenger Grounds will also be added in, as long as Prismatic Vista, Muragonda Raceway. Those are going to be our extra upgrades for the deck. That is now the upgraded version that we're going to be rocking today, everybody. But is this version here actually the better version? We'll find out right now if our upgraded version is actually better or worse than what we currently have. Okay, let's see, everybody. Let's go ahead, let's get this going. Let's see how well this upgraded version can do. All right, let's do this. All right. Okay, so I will apologize, everyone. Looks like the Twitch stream is going to get a little fragmented here, but I'll still tag each of the parts of it just the same with everything we did. Okay, so while you guys are trying to return, again, sorry about that. I just can't sometimes control the internet, but we should be good for the rest of the stream. At least I hope we are. I'd like to at least wrap this up with a little bit more, and of course I do want to do my proper wrap-up once we get to the very end of the stream. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, so we got plenty of lands, which is good. Want to keep all that. All right, let's see, opponents. Show me what you got. Bring it on. Command Tower. Oh, I realized we actually did not put in Command Tower into this deck. We actually probably should have done that. Oops. That's okay. Volo here. Okay, opponent's going to be playing something really gnarly with Volo, but we'll get around that. We will find a way to get around that. In the meantime, we'll play the mountain and pass. Okay. Opponents. What you got? Explore. Okay, so they're going to try to get the ramp going too. Alright. Nothing yet. That's fine. Rampant growth. That's good for us. Put down the Verge. Actually, put down Archaeomancer. Alright. That makes everything cheaper, which is nice. Right, opponents. Anything else? Is Volo coming in yet? Yes? No? Maybe? Okay, Monstrous Vortex. Okay, so they did play that. Alright, so in the meantime here, let's get Tannuk down now. Rockfall Vale, ping for 1. Sabo Tender. Before they can get counterspelled or we get overwhelmed with value. Down to 22. Okay, so little by little, we're going to try to pull this off, everybody. I think we can. If they don't have anything bouncing, we should be also okay too. Up the Beanstalk. Oh, maybe we should have played up to Beanstalk. I mean, there's tons of cards you can definitely play in this deck. We just don't have enough space for all of them. Beseiju's not bad either. Okay, so with Beseiju, we cannot afford our opponent to go off, by the way. Here's how we do this. Rampant Growth. For 1. So great for a 1-mana ramp. Love that. Okay, more pinging. And 18. Beseiju cannot afford to have this go off. Okay, they do get an extra land out of that, which is annoying, but it's worth it to then just get rid of that. Okay, opponents. Anything else? Which land you gonna get? Okay. Gotta hedge some maze. Okay. Valakut exploration. We do have an Awake in the Woods, so that'll be nice for a turn or so from now. Opponents. It is a little risky of me to swing, but I'm going to do it because hopefully we can just close out the game quick here. Down to 14. We're very close to closing it out. We can Awaken the Woods, which actually would be hilarious here if we can pull this off. Scoot Swarm. Ooh, they have Scoot Swarm. Okay. That is a choice, opponents. Cabaret Courtyard. Maybe it was greedy for me to try to swing with Sabo Tender. Either way, we're still going to stick to it. Okay. Haywire Might. That might be helpful too. 1, 2, 1. Okay, so we can get 3 off here. Maybe actually 4. Because I forgot Archaeomancer does make this cheaper, so that's good. There we go, everybody. Burn it away. 14, 13, draw a card. 12, 11. Another card. Another card. Another card. Oh, this is too beautiful. Okay, so. Nice. Draw another card. We will play the Lotus Cobra. No attacks. No attacks this time. Your opponent down to 7. Oh, I realized we probably could have beaten them last turn if we just didn't swing with the Sabo Tender. That's okay. We still have ways of doing this, everybody. If our opponent does not have any way of bouncing things, we win next turn. Doesn't matter what they do. Okay. Well, they're tapped out, so this is it, everybody. This is our turn to win. So with that, let's play Escape to the Wilds. It doesn't honestly even matter what we play at this point because we literally have everything we need. Impact Tremors. Play. There we go. Yes! 6. And, ooh, what do we want here? Pick red. And there we go. 5. Draw another card. Let's see. Green. Ruby. She pings. Down to 4. We will play Haywire Might. 3. Throw away that. 2, 1. And then finally, we can... Let's see. What do we do to finish off our opponent here? Oh. Of course. Cinder Vines. We finish them off here, blowing up the beanstalk, and ping them for 2. There we go. Victory, everybody. All right. Woo! Wow. Awaken the Woods there, everybody. That was the key card that helped us go big here and to have a ton of mana to then just go off there. All right. Not too bad. We could have gotten them a turn earlier, but that's fine. We still got the win no matter what. I'm so happy with that. All right. Let's keep the good times rolling. See how many more matches we can squeeze in the next part here. So, did forget to remind everybody again, we already passed the halfway point of the stream. I don't stream as long as I'd like to, but I'm still happy with the small amount we can do. So, for those of you that are sticking around for this far into our stream here, thanks so much for that. And again, I do apologize with all the technical issues, but again, I still am happy that all of you are here still. For those that are interested and you want to stick around to be a true fiery friend, as always, like, follow, and subscribe wherever you are watching the content across any socials I'm currently alive on. So X, Instagram, Twitch, or YouTube. We of course try to do 2 streams a week to then show off the latest and fun in budget deck techs across any and all formats. If you do want to support us a little bit more, again, we do have a Patreon where I do like to upload again some exclusive, unique gameplay content there. Some just well with just a little bit of extra support here and there from other things. Let's see. Capsulan Forest. Bringing in Tannuk now. Our opponent is also playing Tannuk, so okay. Let's see. Does your version outdo our version opponents? I guess we'll find out. We'll see if their version is better than ours. Okay. So with that, let's see. How do we want to do this here? Arid Archway. Bouncing back our land. Bounce the forest back. Archdruid's Charm. We will then exile So that's... Right, the shoot proof is gone. No attacks yet. So it's literally going to be seeing who can ramp faster here. Traveling Choco. Huh. I thought about putting this originally in our version of the deck, but the reason why I declined against it is you get more value if you have more birds. Which is, again, not a bad thing for the deck, but it's not quite where we were focusing on for our build. Trying to get Elson Grove also is an option too, but we'll talk about, again, things you can do with your version if you're interested. In the meantime, let's see. It is getting a little faster ahead of us. We'll see. Can we catch up here? Fierce Empath. Let's dig out one of our big creatures here. Okay. What do we want? Primeval Titan probably is going to be the best thing here, but Omnath also helps us go wide. Ancient Green Warden's also good too. Let's see. But how fast can we ramp? That's also a good question too. You know what? I want to be a little risky. I know this probably might be not the most optimal way. We will try. Rampant Growth. Get another mountain. And draw a card. Okay. Rudy's not bad either, so that'll help us all as well. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Omnath can come down next turn. One's got their Ancient Green Warden though, so they are actually going to go off quicker here than us for a moment. Well, we'll see if we can catch up right now once we have Omnath on the field. Ooh, okay. Opponent is moving a little fast there. Wooded Foothills. Hey, Crackets. Okay, more pings. Down to 9. Can we survive another turn? I'm not sure here. Ramonop Excavator. Okay. Swing? Nothing. Okay, so let's see. Are we dead? Forest? Okay. 119. Omnath. No attacks. So our opponent has any more landfall triggers, we are probably dead here. If they manage to get their version out faster than us, I will give them that. Yeah. Is that it, opponents? Did we lose? Okay. Yeah, we lost. Nope. They did it faster than us. I will give them that. So, good job to you, opponents. But made us look foolish. That's okay, everybody. That's okay. Not a big deal. It was kind of fun to at least see like another version of the deck that other people will play. And again, you can always build this however you like. There's always different variations, however you want to look at it. Okay, but otherwise, let's go ahead, let's continue on. Let's keep the good times rolling. We're still having fun with this deck. Definitely an enjoyable one overall. All right, still not match here. So, question I'll ask for you while we're getting ready for the next one here. How are you feeling overall with this deck, both the budget one, and I guess we'll ask it again when we get near the end for the non-budget one. How are you feeling overall? Do you like the deck overall? Is it something that you would play? We'll ask this again near the end of the stream, but I always like to ask ahead of time to kind of see how y'all feel about things overall. Okay, call the shrine. Okay, go Shintai. All right, opponent is going to try to see if they can beat us here with a 5-color shrine deck. Okay. So enchantment shenanigans are well underway. But we will see. Can we get around it? Smuggler surprise, okay. Let's play... Urza's Cave. Rampant Growth. So we'll get out a basic here. Get a mountain out. Okay. Okay, so that means, of course, that if we ramp ahead of our opponent here, they're going to get extra lands. Okay. A little annoying, but they managed to get the best 1-drop versus our deck right now. Wow. Can't believe they actually had that. So that means they can get now perfect fixing. But we'll see. I think we can still get around them. I still think we can. Secret Boundaries, all right. Copperline Gorge. We'll play Tannuk now. And I guess we'll play the Copperline Gorge for 1. Okay, so if we can get Ojer down, we can catch up very quickly with this deck. Here's what I'm hoping will happen. Tap out here, and maybe we can get some... No. Not the Void Rend. Alright, well, we'll try this another way. Birds of Paradise, okay. We'll do it this way. Impact Tremors. Rydia. Pink for opponent for 1. Play the Demolition Field. Pink our opponent for... Okay, discard a card. Yes. Okay, got the Arid Mesa. That's fine. Okay, we're both at 22. Let's see. Ojer hopefully can come down next turn, and we can start doing a lot of damage here. Hopefully very quickly. Opponents, what you got? What you got? Okay, another land. The Immortal Sun. Okay. Interesting. Doesn't hurt us that much, so that's not bad. Demolition Field. Ping our opponent. They take 4 now. Okay, now we can catch up. Okay, Birds of Paradise. Ping again. Down to 14. Arid Mesa. Let's see. Do we want to do this? No, we'll decline. Back it. Okay, let's get out Commercial District. Surveil. What is surveilling here? Okay. I think the Scootsworm will keep. We'll throw away Heroic Intervention now that we have an idea of what we're getting. Swing here. Down to 13. Okay. So if Ojer survives this next turn, we can win. It just comes down to all of this. Right here now. If they have a Wrath, though. Big Ocean Titan's coming in. So they make their Shrine Token. That's cute. Okay, opponents. 9 line. Oh, okay. Is that something we should worry about? I guess we'll find out here. So opponent is going to try to slow us all down with the 9 lives, but I still feel like we can get around that. Opponents. Okay, ping. So they don't take any more damage, which is annoying, but we still have a way of trying to bounce around this. So they will still get hits off of that. They take 2. Let's see. Draw another card. Okay, we did get a mountain. That's good. Crack the Wooded Foothills. Opponent will get a ton of counters here quickly if they're not careful. So hopefully we can get around that right here now. Opponent. They're thinking. Okay. Opponents. You there? Oh. Our opponent's gone. Oh, okay, okay. They're there. Okay. So let's see. I guess we'll get the Cinder Glade now. Get some things going. Okay, we get to draw a card too, which is good. Or not. Opponent. Yoo-hoo! Hello? Opponents. You there? Okay, they got 3 counters now. Let's see. We can throw away the Timeless Witness. We can just reuse it later on. Draw into the card. Okay, Scootsworm coming in. If we're fortunate here, this might be game. Opponents. So at this point, we actually don't even need OJR to do its thing. All we just need OJR to do now is just become a land, and actually we can get some hilarious things going on here. Swing with OJR. He has Trample, which is good, so we can still push through and get a point off of him no matter what. He dies, but we want him to die, because now he comes back as a land that triggers off. 5. Decline. Oh, this is beautiful. We can start getting now extra pings off of that with Scootsworm here, so that's actually good. If it gets up to 9 counters on it, that means it will end up killing our opponent here. They're up to 6. That means literally next turn, they have to find a way around us. Otherwise, we will win. Opponent has literally 1 turn to pull this around. Can we outdo them with a 9 lives? Can we push through a 9 lives? They have all the ramp in the world right now. They have plenty of life gain. All literally we just need to do is just get this next land drop in. Okay. They can cast flash spells. Okay. That doesn't really affect us, though. Okay, so... Throwing Spider Verge. Okay. Is this it? Did we win? 7. Discard a card. 8. Is that it? Did we push through the 9 lives? Oh, hold on. Opponents. Ooh, that's on the stack right now. You gotta sacrifice this at instant speed. Okay, I think we can still do it through there. We will get out. Yes, we got through him. Oh my goodness. Yes. Woo. That gave me a heart attack there for a second, everybody. Seriously. That's the first time ever, using just Landfall, we push through a 9 lives. Like, right now, our opponent had the Teferi's Protection on the stack. With that, they would have just stopped everything we would have done. But because we had extra lands that we're able to sacrifice to then pull out extra lands there, oh man, that was so beautiful. Pushing through the 9 lives. That was your undoing, opponent. Gambled, and they lost. Oh man, that was beautiful. Absolutely amazing. We got to highlight that one for the future. All right. Felt good about that one. That was a great win. That was a really good one for us. Clutch when we weren't expecting it. All right. So we'll just keep it going a little bit longer, everybody. We're looking at, just to give everybody a little estimate right now, about approximately maybe 30 minutes left in the stream. I know it's not a very long stream, but this is the best I can do, everybody. Don't worry, we will be back on the weekend for another stream. I haven't decided what day it is yet. We'll have to kind of check to see what my little schedule will allow me to do. But so far, really good deck overall. I'm honestly feeling pretty good about this one overall, no matter any way you look at it. So I'm pretty satisfied with this one. Let's see here. Let's play with Stump Stomp. We'll play it tapped. Get us a little bit of fixing going. Okay, Swamp, Gnawing Vermin. Okay, so our opponent here be using Arden. A little scary because they are doing some graveyard shenanigans, but we will find a way around that. Play the Forest. Mind Stone. I guess we probably could upgrade now to Arcane Signet instead. Not sure why I didn't do that in the first place, but that's okay. Not a big deal. We're still getting through no matter what. I actually think I prefer the card draw either way. Okay, Tireless Provisioner. Play the Verge Land. Make a treasure. Play Swiftfoot Boots. This will ensure that we can still keep Tannuk on the field and they can do its thing. Opponent. Swinging. Maybe. They do. We will not. Okay, so Tannuk. We will Forest. Make a treasure. Ping our opponents. We will play Zell. We will, let's see, pay 3 life. That does hurt for a moment there, but it's worth it because we draw our card. Swiftfoot Boots on top of Tannuk. Make sure he's protected. Let's see. Swing here. Trying to squeeze out a little bit more damage. Okay, down to 21. And pass. Okay, we do get to bounce a land back, so this is actually kind of nice for us. Because then, alright, put the force back. We can use his ability also to kind of run out our modal lands, which is actually really nice. Okay, opponents also doing their ramp. Okay. Opponents, nothing else yet. Okay, we got a rampant growth. That's actually amazing for us. Rampant growth. We got another forest. There we go. Getting the ramp going. Treasure. King. Forest again. There we go. On a card. Another forest will be great for later on. Okay. I think that should be good for now. Station this with Zell. Station. And station again. There we go. Our planet is now online, everybody. So now we can get a ton of mana with our game plan here. And we will bounce back a forest. All right. We still have also heroic intervention in case if anything goes horribly wrong. Ooh, Doom Whisperer. Okay. Haven't seen this in a while. That's a throwback. Shout out to 2018 for that card. But now we have more than enough lands and mana to work with here. So we can now finally sacrifice the Mind Stone. This is, again, where I would argue Arcane Signet might not be as good for us versus a Mind Stone, because we can still draw cards. Okay, so with that, Flame of Kel... Ooh, that actually might be helpful for us. So let's see. Forest here. Ping our opponents. Make another treasure. Okay. And let's see here. There we go. So much mana. But realistically, we need like a big spell right now to kind of really start making this a huge threat against our opponent here. Okay. Treasure again. We actually don't need the food tokens, but there might be some instances where you want food tokens instead. Just for stabilization purposes. Oh, there we go. Primeval Titan. Now we're talking. Alright, alright. Primeval Titan, everybody. Yes, of course we will take advantage of that. Let's see here. I guess we'll get out Arid Archway because we can afford it now. And what else do we want? Actually, Scavenger Grounds is actually good here too. Because once our opponent brings in Arden here and is going to try to pull off Graveyard Shenanigans, we want to make sure we're ready for that. Let's see. We will bounce back. I'll bounce back to Thornspire Verge now at this point. We have more than enough. Okay. In that case, no swings. We're just trying to ping down everything here. Okay. And we bounce back another land. Bounce back a forest. All right. And the treasures will be a perfect supplement to everything else we have. Runescar Demon. Okay. It enters. They will dig for a card. What are they digging, though? This is now... I mean, we're still not out of the woods just yet. We still need to get around what they're doing. But thankfully, we do have all the mana we could possibly need to then just go off here. We're just trying to see if we can finish it here and now. Okay. Can we do this? Alright. Opponents, do you swing? No swings. Okay. Heritage Reclamation. Man, I kind of wish we had something that would blow up flyers, but that's okay. We're just going to try to trust in the card draw here. Okay. Opponents. Anything else? Okay, I guess we'll make some foods now. Okay, ping our opponent there. Forest. Card draw going. I guess we'll make a treasure too. Draw another card. Ooh, Ancient Green Warden. Okay. Now we're talking. Okay, so make 4 there. Ancient Green Warden coming in. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so we have... There's not much else we can really do here. We just need to... So we'll just pass. It's still tempting to swing. But I think I'm going to swing once we can get Heroic Intervention and Gruul Charm to do its thing. Then Flames of Kel can also come out, and we can really kind of go off here. Okay, bounce back a land. Oh man, this is actually going out really good. Much better than I thought it was going to be. we'll have at least one food to kind of hedge our bets here just in case. So that gives us a little bit of life to eat up in case if they start swinging with those demons. But we do have Ancient Green Warden as well, and we have Heroic Intervention as backup. So we're not like... We're in a pretty good spot overall. See what our opponent's going to try to do here. Come on, opponents. Bring it on. Show me what you got. Shieldred. Ooh, okay. So that means... Shieldred enters each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature or planeswalker. Okay, non-token. Well, that's probably going to be Tireless Provisioner at this point. Because we've gotten enough value out of her. We have 9 actual treasures. Should be enough for us, right? Okay. So with that, we go now. Okay, so let's see. Can we do this here? We want to go off quick. So, play the force here. Get away. 11, 10. Nissa's great too. Alright. Play Nissa. We'll play the forest. Ping, ping. Let's see. I mean, we don't really need this extra mana anyway. We'll still do it anyway. Draw cards. Okay. Alright, so... How do we get to victory here? Aftermath Analyst. We will mill 3. We did get a forest in there, so I guess that's helpful for later. Dang, I want to go off right now, but I can't. Yeah. We need like a really big spell right here. Flame of Keld is actually perfect here, but at the same time we still have key cards we want just in case everything goes horribly wrong. I guess we'll pass for a bit longer. Almost there, everybody. Almost there. We are so close. So close. Bounce back. Attack forest again. And pass. Still got a full hand here. Still waiting for Arden to come in and do its thing. Cruel Charm will be great here. Arden, okay. Alright, he's coming in. There's that lifelink. World map. Alright. Okay. Opponent swinging now. Okay, so with that... We'll sacrifice our Scavenger Ground. No extra value, opponents. None for you. Okay, so those are all gone. Okay, opponent's going to swing. Maybe? They do. Okay. So, we can take out one demon. Okay, Rule Charm. 3 damage to each creature with flying. We then play Heroic Intervention. So now they're all protected. Oh. Actually, I realized I messed that up. I forgot they both have Menace. Okay, well, that didn't turn out as well as I thought. I was thinking I was being so clever there. Never mind. Okay. Okay, the Seiju is not bad either. So let's see. Forest. So they managed to actually regain all their life. But we'll see if we can try to get around it still. Ooh, Omnath is good too here. Okay, here we go. This might actually help us out a bit. Alright, and then Forest again. Okay, big stuff coming in. And let's see. Okay, well. Flame of Keld now. There's not much else we can really do here. Short target artifact. Okay. Dang, it doesn't really help us out here, does it? Activate. Can't get those flyers in the air. That's our only major thing. We did get a lot of pings off here. And, okay, I mean, is there anything else I can really do? I guess we'll sacrifice a food. So we eat. And I guess, well, didn't quite stabilize as much as I'd like to. I guess swing here for big. So maybe we can get a little bit more. Okay, they're tapped, so that means I guess we get Den of the Bugbear. And Castle Embereth. That's going to be more pings, but it's not enough for us. Green. Green. Red. Yeah. Dang, maybe we should have gotten actually more foods then. Okay, opponents, what do you block? So they block there. Dang, I really wish we could have used off all of those elemental tokens, but we don't have enough. Even with our one reach creature, they have menace, so we cannot really get much of anything going on here. Okay. Alright, well, we actually are going to lose here, which is kind of unfortunate. Everything aside. Yeah, down to 2. Oh, we were so close. So close. If they just didn't get that life gain, we probably would have been fine. Yeah. Okay. Well, take the L there. Wow. Wow. Okay. I mean, we were close on that one there, but we just didn't get quite what we wanted. We were close with the burn, but they gained enough life last turn that we ended up losing there. Maybe I was being a little too conservative there. Maybe I should have been a little bit more aggressive. It's okay, everybody. It's okay. We're still having fun with this deck. How are we all feeling overall about the deck overall? I have been greatly enjoying how this deck works. There's definitely a little bit to it I probably would adjust, but we'll talk about that again once we get to the end. We are close to the end here, so we will definitely start talking about, you know, good, the bad, and even the ugly with the deck to see how well we can do to maybe discuss it. Maybe we can do a little bit better. Okay, so moving on. All right, Cinder Vines will be good for the early part of the game. If our opponent starts pinging. What do they got? Okay, Hourglass Coven. A Hag Warlock. Huh. I don't know we had Hag as an actual creature type. Other Warlocks we control get +1/+. Okay. Okay. Let's still do this with what we have. Okay, opponents. Okay, tap land. Let's see. Put down the Raceway. Night's Whisper, okay. Some cards lose some life. Capital Forest. Sabo Tender. Take a hit. It's okay. Put down Cinder Vines next turn and we should be good to go from here. Replicating Ring. Ooh, that actually would be good for our Heritage Reclamation here. So with that, bang our opponent. Right, we get to level 2. Cinder Vines. Sabo Tender goes down to 20 for our opponent there. We don't really too much care about the Replicating Ring right now, but we do have plenty of ways of blowing it up with artifacts. We got a lot of artifact hate. Black Market Connections. They do get pinged. Down to 19. Okay, opponent. That's a very greedy move. We'll see if it pays off for them. Windswept Teeth. Okay, that's beautiful. Okay, so for this now, we hurt ourselves. Okay, we'll play the Windswept Teeth. Ping our opponents. Okay, start turn number 3. Windswept Teeth. There we go. All right, we're doing it. Let's see. Well, we don't have anything else to do, so we'll just surveil land. Bring our opponent again for a little more. 16. And, ooh, loot is good here. We'll draw into him. That's good. Okay, opponents. You're at 13 right now. You're not going to get too much value off of that black market connections. We'll let them have it, though, because that does mean that they will keep taking damage. It's not even a May ability. They have to keep using it, so it is a very risky card. Very powerful card, but when you are low on life, it will kill you. Ooh, opponent. The Hourglass Coven. MTG Hillbilly, howdy. Hello, my fire friend. How are you doing today? Hopefully having a wonderful day wherever you're at. You're just in time as we see. We're trying to see if we can go off here with Tannuk here. We're trying to see if we can burn out our opponent here quickly. Let's see. Guess we'll put the Sokas in now. Ping, ping, ping. Alright, level 4. So this is now 2 mana. And let's see. What do we throw away here? Do we want to throw away anything here? Maybe the Mind Stone. Draw a card. Okay, this is good for later. Let's play... Okay, they're all 3/3s. Do I want to do anything now? Actually, we'll play loot now. No attacks. We'll pass. Okay. We're gonna start trying to gain some life here, but we will take care of their... They'll take care of their coven in a bit. Can we get around that, though? Is there a way around them? So, let's see. We'll try. MG Hillbilly, I've been lurking in the background due to me streaming. I mean, that's cool. I still appreciate you doing that. Hopefully, again, your stream went well. Okay. Opponent is going to try to get greedy here with black market connections. Those witches, or I guess I would say warlocks, they are going to cause a lot of value for our opponent to accumulate. We need to get rid of them. Quick. If we can get at least maybe 1 or 2 more land drops, we should be fine. At least I hope so. Been playing with +1 counters. Okay. How's that gone for you? Good? Hopefully it's been good for you. Opponent's thinking. Now that they're doing this, maybe it might be better to... Maybe we might want to get rid of that coven. Not a fan of the drafting mechanic and everything else, but yeah. See if we can try to get around them. We will try. Thankfully, though, we are at max speed, so we do have a little extra ramp here, so we should be good to go, hopefully. Oh, your stream went very well. That's good. That's good to hear. +1 counters is so fun. I haven't actually played a +1/+1 counters deck in a while, so maybe we'll try that out ourselves soon. It's been a little while. Let's see if we can try to get into that. Ooh, Arid Archway. That's actually pretty good for us here. So, let us... How do we do this here? So, tap here. Ping, ping, ping. Opponents. And then we can use loot. And hopefully we can then wheel our way into something big here. Maybe. So there's our opponent. Yes, maybe. Opponents. Anytime now, opponents. Anytime now. Okay, our opponent is thinking carefully here. So the good news, of course, is with loot out, we bounce away with the Arid Archway, our forest. We can recast, or so replay it, basically. Get another trigger off, draw a card, hopefully. Maybe we can use its ability and then just hopefully just beat down our opponent here. Okay. Bounce back to forest. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we can use loot's ability. What do we discard here? Nothing? Oh, well, actually, no. Let's see. There we go. Ping, ping, ping. And 9. Okay, Impact Tremors is good too. But... Come on, deck. Give me the value I'm looking for. Okay, Zell. Not quite what I was looking for, but I guess we could use it. So Zell will make us bounce back a forest, but that's okay. We don't mind that. Those witches are unfortunately going to keep providing life gain for our opponent there. So we need to get rid of them ASAP, or at the very least, the copies. The copies will slow us down a bunch. But we're close, though. We might be able to pull off with the combo we have. Hopefully. Maybe. I guess it depends on what our opponent does here. Come on, opponents. You there? Opponents? They're still thinking. Hello? Opponents? Anytime now. Or maybe they had a bad connection like we did. I mean, fortunately, when we've been playing, we've only disconnected on the stream itself, not necessarily the game. So I guess that's not bad. I'd rather that happen. Oh, there we go. Our opponent has had enough. All right, victory for us. Yeah. All right. Well, looking at the clock right now, I do apologize, everybody. Unfortunately, though, that probably will be our last game for today, everybody. However, let's go ahead. Let's cover the wrap-up of this deck, because I want to run this out before, hopefully, the stream cuts again. So, that was, for us, our Landfall burn deck, everybody, in Gruul colors. So, you tell me in the comments below, what do you think? Would you play this deck in any way, shape, or form? Truth be told, I'm actually really satisfied with how this deck turned out. It actually turned out a lot better than I was expecting, to the point where, you know what? Maybe we can put together... I think we can actually utilize this even in 60 card. I mean, granted, spoiler alert, we have actually already kind of created that, but we're still in the process of trying to finish recording that video. But I'll talk about that in just a moment. But overall, for Tannuk here as a commander, really fun. I do like what he does. He provides better value, in my opinion, than some of the usual boring Simic stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, there are people out there that do like playing like Simic Landfall, but it feels so tried and true. This at least not only provides you with card draw, like say like Tatyova, but also the pinging ability means you actually have a way of closing out the game with just one card. And it's actually an uncommon too, which I'm actually happy about. So you should be able to put this together very easily. The budget deck, again, as a reminder, is only going to cost you about $45 in paper, which is actually about the same as a pre-con. That's actually pretty good value. And then on Arena, I think it's only about, what now, 13, 14 rares? You'll get the details, of course, once we're done here. That's still pretty good overall for what you're getting here. So Landfall, everybody, I would definitely recommend this deck for those of you out there that like Landfall decks. If you like, you know, playing on a budget, if maybe you don't want to spend a ton, this is actually pretty solid overall. It's very fun. There's definitely a lot of different ways you can get to your victories. There's plenty of options, even if Tannuk doesn't come out, to then still go with an alt game plan here. Omnath, of course, closes out games along with Rampaging Balos with the trample and landfall abilities they have. You can also, you know, use some graveyard shenanigans if you want to with Clothis. You can really go big with your burn spells using cards like Torbrand here, stacking that up with Mechanized Warfare to then really kind of hit your opponent here once you get Impact Tremors going. Or maybe if you want to go wide super fast, you also have Scoot Swarm. Either way, the deck actually is really good overall. Once it starts going off, it's very hard for your opponent to beat you. Realistically, though, I do want to remind you, the biggest weakness to a deck like this is Wraths. Fortunately, though, we didn't run into any Wraths in any decks that we felt we took on today, so that was actually pretty good. But it does show that this deck really does need to make sure that it goes off and goes wide to get that value. But even so, just be aware of that if you want to play this deck. I would say maybe for the budget deck, tweak it a little bit if you want to give Tannuk more protection. But thankfully, not too many opponents blew him up. But the times we did see him get destroyed, we did get steamrolled a couple times. Be aware of that overall, however you want to play him. Obviously, the upgraded version, I mean, I don't even know what to tell you, except, you know, the sky's the limit with this. We were actually pretty modest with the mana base, but if you want to get super duper serious, you can go all in on all the fetches. You don't have to use just like the 3 fetches we use today. If you want to do the full playset to get more value out of him, more power to you. Just know that, again, you want to make sure you have fetches that actually do ally with the colors that can get you what you need. So you do need to make sure you have stuff that can get you your forests and your mountains to get the most value. So be mindful of that with the fetch lands. Overall, though, I did like, of course, the upgraded version. Again, if I can afford it, I totally would. I think the deck is... $450 if you want to go full upgraded. And again, that's just my version. If you go into actual paper, I mean, you have tons of options even beyond Arena. So consider that if you do want to play this card. I like the card for what it is. It does a lot of fun things with it. It's very open-ended. You can go with the burn package. You can go with just landfall stuff. You can use it to then bring out, again, some cards that will help you ramp even more, make tokens, burn. Again, there's so many different ways you can build with it. I know there's several cards that we didn't use, but again, use your imagination. Look what's available out there. You'd be very surprised as you know how awesome this card is. I do love it to the point where we'll talk about this in just a second, but realistically, I'm actually happy with it. Now, since you've all stuck around this far into the stream itself, and of course you've made it to the very end, as always, my true fire friends, thanks again as always. I appreciate your support. So because of that, let's get a little sneak peek as to what's to come in the next couple days on stream. So we do have a couple other decks I've been playing around with. So we have Sacrifice in Space, a slightly different variant of the Sacrifice deck we talked about in a deck tech using Sephiroth. So this one is definitely a lot more budget friendly than Sephiroth. He is a good card, but I wanted to try something a little bit different, utilizing a key card here, Sir Vondum, Sunstar Exemplar. We'll talk about that more in an upcoming stream once we get that going here. So that'll be one of our future deck techs. But again, it might be a live stream too. It depends on what I'm feeling. We also have, again, another card that, for this one, Dread Not the Bees. Hopefully you guys appreciate the puns there. But yes, using Sunstar Dreadnought here, Dawn-Sire, with Hornet Nest, we want to make a ton of bees to go off and just blow away our opponent with a lot of flying insects. We're going to see if this janky combo actually could get some wins. Again, I'm debating if I want to do this live streamed or we might do it as an actual deck tech. It really kind of depends on how I'm feeling. The actual deck tech that we are going over and we'll be talking about soon next week, because I did love Tannuk to the point where when I was testing it, I'm like, you know what? I just want to make a deck for this. So we're going to be playing in standard a deck tech called Jund Landfall. So a landfall deck that utilizes Jund mechanics and a bunch of landfall triggers with key creatures that actually will burn out our opponents. So definitely in my wheelhouse. This is actually a fun one. I'm sure you guys will like that once we get that one up next week. And then finally, our only other deck we're kind of playing around with a little bit here, Let Him Cook. So that's right, we did build together our own version of the Lobster Citizen here. Great card here, Rawgust. Really fun. Lots of mana rocks, or at least just cheap artifacts that you want to use to just start building up a ton of food options. Life gain and drain shenanigans abound. So definitely a fun one. Still a work in progress though, so this might be a couple weeks out before we actually get it ready to go for either a stream or even a deck tech. It kind of depends on where I'm feeling. But that's pretty much all I have right now for now, everybody. Again, we're going to do another stream over on the weekend. We'll then, of course, have the Jund Landfall deck in depth for you next Monday, and then we'll see where we go when we feel like doing for the next couple of streams. But that is it for today, everybody. Thank you one more time to everybody that did show up today. I really appreciate you guys. Sorry if the stream cut out a couple times, but we tried to make it to the end as best as possible. Thankfully, we only have maybe 2 major disconnects, but I think the whole stream, in the most part, survived, at least on the places I've been doing this. So again, final shout out, of course, to all of you that were here today. So thank you again for joining us. So Mono Musa, I know maybe the stream kind of got cut out there, but thank you again for showing up just the same. Jedrick Ventura, hit us up, of course, if you haven't already on Discord. Maybe we could talk about the what we can do to help build up that Elena, the Dusk Rose deck you want to do. So hopefully, again, we can help you out with that a little bit. Just Aragon, thanks again for joining us, whether you were on YouTube still or over on Twitch. I still appreciate your support on either or. MTG Hillbilly, I know you popped in last minute, but thank you again for doing that, and I still appreciate you showing up, even if you were streaming yourself. Hopefully, I didn't cut too much into that, but I still appreciate you being here. For those of you that I see across on any other platforms here, I do see on here MTG Balsenary. I'm sorry if I messed that up. Over on Instagram there, and BSpec TV, thanks again, as always, for popping in when you can. I appreciate any and all of you that are watching, but if I don't get your name out there, sorry about that. Apologize for that. It's just so annoying to have to deal with some of the technical issues that kind of limit you on a live stream chat. Still, thank you one more time, everybody. We'll get a chance to do this again over the weekend. I will announce that across my socials, probably the night before, to give you guys a heads up as to when it's going to be. But otherwise, have a wonderful, wonderful week, everybody. If you're out in the area like I am, try to stay nice and cool because it's getting kind of warm in the area, and be aware of, again, like those adjustments in the weather. Yeah, sorry, it's a little hot for me where I'm at. But in any case, enough of me rambling. I gotta go, everybody. One more time, have a wonderful day. But as always, just remember that no matter what you do play in the game of life, always be sure to burn brightly. We'll see you this weekend, everybody, with the next deck. Later.